Good afternoon. If you woke up today and said, I wish I knew more about menopause, then this is your lucky day. Today's presentation is called Menopause, Everything You Wanted to Know But Were Afraid to Ask.
Okay.
I'm going to share with you today information about female and male menopause and talk about the symptoms, and then I'll have a brief question and answer period. I sent out a questionnaire earlier this week, and I appreciate those of you who responded, just to do a little audience analysis to see where we all stood in terms of knowing what menopause is, understanding the symptoms, and the results of that I'll share with you. We had 80% of you who are familiar with menopause.
Excellent.
Only 20% of you were familiar with male menopause. So hopefully you will learn something on that today. And 50% of you have members right now who are in menopause. So my purpose in giving this speech today is to help you to understand what it is, and this will hopefully create more compassion, because this is something that every woman is going to experience. Why do you think it is still a taboo topic, though? It's the culture. The culture is saying that what's the culture in the media? The culture is saying young and beautiful is in. So menopause is a clear sign of aging. Women are embarrassed to talk about it. Doctors very rarely bring it up unless the patient does. And there's just not a lot of information out there about it. So my hope is that you're going to be able to open up dialogue with family members and have more information. 45 million women at this given point are in menopause. And we talked about the taboo of it. This is a phase of ending fertility. So what happens is the ovaries stop producing eggs. And the root of menopause is men, which means month, and pausis, which means cessation. So it is a cessation of the monthly menstrual cycle. When we talk about the symptoms, a lot of you said you could name 2 to 3 symptoms. How many do you think there are in total? Any guesses?
10. I think there's 10.
10.
40, 15.
Ooh, good numbers. 34. There are 34 symptoms, but they happen in varying degrees. Not every woman is going to experience all 34 of them. It all depends a lot on genetics, lifestyle, diet, exercise. If you kind of look at your family members, if your mother, whatever type of menopause she had, if it was just short and didn't have many symptoms, that's probably something that you will follow if you're a woman, or your wife will follow. It's something to be aware of. The ones that we do know, and I know that you've heard, are hot flashes and depression, night sweats, mood swings. Women, you are not alone. Men,
You're alone.
listen up.
You're alone.
You
You're
too
alone.
get menopause. It's called male
That's
menopause. How many of you have heard of that? Sounds like only a few in the survey responded that they have heard of it. This is also called midlife crisis. And of course, the cure for that is a red Corvette.
Yes.
And joining a gym. But menopause is called midlife crisis. It's also, in women, it's called the change. In men, the official term for that is called andropause.
Oh.
And that is a decrease in testosterone, which creates some of the same symptoms that women have: irritability, weight gain, osteoporosis, sexual dysfunction, lack of sexual desire. And that is more of a taboo subject than it is for women. men generally at age 35 start to lose testosterone at 1%, 1 to 1.5%. So in your 50s, that's kind of when it peaks. However, this does not affect fertility. Men can still have children into their 80s. Or father children, I should say. Recommended reading, there are 2 books that I highly recommend. One is Surviving Male Menopause. That's for men, and the one for women is The Wisdom of Menopause. I have a question for you. What do you think rhesus monkeys, chimpanzees, elephants, and certain whales have in common? It's an interesting menopause.
They're all-
Very good.
They're all afraid of women in menopause?
Scientists have observed a very distinct end of phase menopause, an end of fertility.
Wow.
So next time you're at the zoo and you see an elephant that's maybe having hot sweats or looks kind of depressed, it could be that that it was in menopause, it ended its fertility cycle,
Or it's
which in
starting
an
to retrograde.
elephant is 45 years old.
Wow.
And in women, the age of menopause peaks at about 51. So I'm going to end with a joke before we get into our question and answer. How does your husband predict the mood his menopause wife is in? Well, he assumes that her mood is lousy, and occasionally he'll be wrong.
Dun dun dun.
Da-da.